Hello and welcome back to another video. My name is Ash and in this video we will be talking about white shoes. Now white shoes may not be a stress for everybody in their everyday lives, but if you are a new hire about to work for Disney Cruise Line, then you may find white shoes appearing in your dreams or your nightmares because you stress over which shoes to get. Questions about white shoes is honestly one of the most asked questions that I get sent. People can ask me 5 or 6 questions, but they always will have something about shoes, especially white shoes. Now I know what it's like to stress about white shoes because I've been there. I was a new hire, and it can be stressful. Now when I talk about white shoes, let me put the definition of white shoes. When I say white shoes, I mean this, not this. Although if you're an officer, then this is probably what you'll wear, which will probably come with a uniform. But these are the white shoes that I'm talking about. Trainers, sneakers, whatever else you might call them. That's kind of what I mean. Now, Disney Cruise Line provides you with your uniform except for your shoes. Unless, of course, you're in a special role that you need special safety shoes, then Disney Cruise Line will provide them for you. The shoes that most people are asked to bring with them onto the ship will be white trainers, black shoes, like formal shoes, and potentially sandals if you're working on Disney's Castaway. Other roles might have different variations of what you're asked to bring, maybe black trainers and stuff like that. But again, you will be told what you will need on your onboarding process. So I'm mainly going to be talking about shoes and white shoes in particular because that is the main focus of the questions that I get. So let me tell you quickly about my experience, my shoe story, my shoe journey that I went with when I was a new hire for Disney Cruise Line. I bought mesh white trainers, all white trainers, mesh ones from H&M. And I was like, these are good, these will do. I took them with me onto the ship, and then during my first week of training, when you meet your trainer, the SET, the Service Excellence Trainer, they asked, do you have white shoes? I said yes. They said, can I look at them? I said, of course you can. You can smell them. They smell nice because they're new. I said, yeah, have a look at them. And she said, no, they're wrong. They're wrong. I brought the wrong type of shoes with me to the ship, which is probably kind of your worst nightmare in that moment because you don't know anything about ship life. You're like, oh, I'm now on a cruise ship with the inappropriate shoes. What do I do? Now it brings a little bit of stress, a little bit of added stress into your new journey on board the ship. And, you can't just nip down to the mall, you can't just nip down to the shops and get some shoes. But there is some hope because the ship does sell some shoes on board. That is a tongue twister. So you can get some shoes on board, which is what I did. My trainer took me down there to the costuming and spoke to an officer who opened up like a little storage thing, and I had to buy these shoes from Disney Cruise Line. And actually, they were probably some of the best cruise shoes. The best shoes that I've ever had on the cruise. They were just like $35 or something, but they were work trainers. They were designed for people who work all day standing up. So they were very comfortable. They had really good grip on them. They weren't like the best looking shoes in the world. I feared potentially if I'd fallen overboard, they might have dragged me down to the bottom of the ocean. But they were very comfortable and they worked extremely well. So there is a lifeline that you can get some shoes on board, but I'm not saying that you should just rely on that because the quantities of those kind of shoes on board are limited. So especially in sizes, you might not get your size, they might not have any shoes on board at the time. So don't rely on going to the ship and getting some shoes. If you want to go onto the ship and maybe get a backup pair, maybe 2 pairs, you take some shoes with you and then you buy a pair, you can do that. So I got very lucky and those were the shoes that I managed to get my first contract. So the shoes Disney will ask you to bring will be all white leather trainers with no kind of markings or colours on them. So let's break that down. What that means is Disney want a shoe that is completely leather, that is not mesh or fabric. And that is mainly because it makes it easier to clean, it makes it easier to wipe clean. There's a very good chance that in your role, depending on what you're doing, you may get stains on them, food stains. If you're working youth activities, you could get body fluids on it. Yes, that can happen. So you can quite easily get very dirty shoes, scuff marks, anything like that. So they want a pair of leather shoes that you can easily just wipe over and clean them up. If your shoes are mesh or a different type of fabric, that makes it a lot harder to get rid of the stains and your shoes get a lot dirty quicker. So that's kind of the reason why. Your shoe needs to have no obvious colours or markings on it. So if it's a Nike shoe, you can't have a red or blue or green swoosh on the side, even if the rest of the shoe is white. And there's nothing kind of distinctive about it that's going to kind of mismatch with your uniform or kind of stand out. If you get Reebok Classics, obviously they're all white, so they have a little Union Jack on the side, and that's absolutely fine. So even if it's got a slight bit of colour, but that's okay because it's very small and it doesn't distract from what you're wearing or anything like that. So here's a few examples of different types of shoes that you can get for the ship that I think would work. If you look down at people's feet, you might find that a lot of people wear these ones, which are Nike Air Force Ones. They're generally very good. They're quite, heavy and clumpy a little bit, but they're comfortable and they work well, and plus they're all white. Then you can also get Reebok Classic ones as well. New Balance also do all white shoes, and obviously you can have the workforce shoes as well, so you can probably find some online, just all designated work shoes, which I do recommend doing them because sometimes they're a little bit cheaper, but they're good for your feet, and you don't feel as bad if you're getting scuffs or if you eventually break them. So, they're also a good option. And the working shoes are really, really comfortable. They're designed to be comfortable for people who are up on their feet all day long, which brings me to my next major point, finding the right shoe. I cannot stress this enough. You need to find a shoe that fits correctly and is comfortable for you to wear. You have to know that you are working very long hours on your feet, standing, walking around. You will hate yourself if you get a pair of shoes that destroy your feet. Investing in a good, comfortable shoe will make or break a day. You might be absolutely miserable because your feet hurt so much. If you've got good shoes, you're generally going to be happier, you're going to have a better work day, and you're going to feel better. Honestly, it ripples through the rest of your day. So just be mindful of that. If you can get insoles as well, get a couple of pairs of different types of insoles for those shoes just to really help your feet. I always got insoles, and it makes a huge difference. Now I'm going to give you another shoe story, number 2. On my second contract, I bought new shoes from H&M. They were leather shoes from H&M, and it was the worst decision that I've ever made because I bought them thinking, oh, these are cheap, these are good, I can wear these, no problem. But after my first week on board, my feet were in so much pain. I could hardly stand up. My feet were like blocks of wood, and they were solid, but at the same time, if you pushed them, you could see all the fluid in my feet. They were swollen. It was just horrendous. So working 10-hour days in those shoes, my feet were on fire. It was absolute torture, and so I learned a valuable lesson. And I didn't have my shoe size on the ship, so I couldn't buy any more shoes from the ship. The ones that I bought the previous contract, on the end of my contract, I threw them out because I couldn't fit them in my case and stuff. I had too much stuff to bring back, so I thought, oh, they're only $30. I've used them for 5 months. They've been used really well. I got rid of them. I'll get some more. On that second contract, probably 2 weeks in, I ordered new shoes. I bought some Nike Air Force Ones, which were delivered, and I had them again, as I said, for years, and I bought new insoles for them as well. I think I literally only got rid of them on the UK staycation cruises, so I had them for a number of years. They did me very well. So the message of my story is, if you buy really cheap shoes, you're going to pay for it later with absolutely painful feet, and you don't want to do that. There are lots of different types of white shoes that you can get. I'm not going to tell you exactly what ones to get because you'll probably know what best fits your feet or best fits your budget and things like that. But if you've got any more questions about shoes or the sandals you might have to wear for Castaway or anything like that, then you can drop a comment below and then I can reply to that. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you found shoes interesting. I'm just trying to give you, again, information to help you that I didn't have when I first started for Disney Cruise Line and ended up, with sore feet and getting the wrong shoes and stuff like that. It can get so stressful trying to pack and make sure you've got everything that you need. And sometimes you overthink things and you overcomplicate things because you're trying to read into information. So that's why I want to try and help you get some information, get some ideas, and you can ask me stuff which I didn't have when I first started. So again, thank you very much for watching. I've been Ash, and until next time, have a good day. Bye-bye.